Hello everyone, welcome to the live project induction. And as you guys are aware, this is a part of Internship Program 2023. So I hope you all have already completed all your tasks with respect to the internship program, which are prerequisites for you to start on your live projects so that you can deliver your live projects seamlessly without any hassles. And before we start with the induction, we have a message from our founder, which I would like to share with you. So, though this internship program has started few weeks ago, in fact, you guys can still continue with your internship even if you have started just now, because you have the liberty to finish your internships by 30th of September 2023 so that you can get your work experience certificate. Do not worry about the duration, we will be taking care of it. And even after 30th September, you're not able to complete with the live projects, you will still have an opportunity to not lose the work that you have already done and still continue in the next batch, which will be starting from around 1st of October. Right, so that saves you a lot of hassle, saves you a lot of panic. So do not need to worry, don't be worried about anything. We are here to support you and we will give you that flexibility so that you can accommodate for all your academic commitments and the learning needs as well. So moving on then from here, in today's session we want to talk to you about the live project structure and the ways of working that you need to follow during this duration. So, as you have attended all the project management sessions, you are already aware that every project that we are doing is unique because of its characteristics, because of the scope, or maybe the individuals who are part of that project, right? So, while we are trying to solve the projects, there will be unique issues, unique risks that we might face. And we need to be prepared to deal with this. All right? The basic thing when you are starting with your life project is that please remember, doesn't matter any sort of issue comes or any sort of task comes, you can always learn while you're getting the work done. Okay, both the things can be done simultaneously, and because you have this flexibility, the reason why we're giving you this flexibility is so that you can take this opportunity for learning new things while you do the work, because being students, it is very obvious that you might not be aware of all the possible issues and risks that you might face while doing the projects, right? So please remember, do not panic or do not get worried about things. We are here to support you, and please remember that our success lies in your success. All right. So this is your what to say, something that you need to stick to throughout your project so that you don't get demotivated. and continue working on the project. All right, because we want you to succeed and complete this live project. All right, so some of the things that you can do uh, to be in that mindset throughout is, first of all, whenever you're starting your day, every day take it as a learning opportunity. Be prepared to learn new things and be prepared to deal with any things that are coming in your way. All right, then you also need to take a structured approach when you're doing the project or delivering on the project. Of course, we have already made it convenient for you by setting up certain things for you so that you can take structured approach, but we would request you to just stay or do the things in the order that we have given you to do, so that sooner or later things will fall in place by itself, right? You only need to keep working, and we will ensure that you're going in the right direction. All right, then do not assume that you would be getting everything right there in front of you. You have to solve the problem, you have to find the solutions, and it's not easy to do that, neither is it hard. All right, so what you need to do is research on the tasks that you are trying to work on. That will give you more information to work on and work in an effortless manner. And while you're doing this research, you keep learning new things every day. So this is of primary importance. Then you cannot do the project in one go, right? So while you're doing a certain task, you might not be able to see the end of the project and might not be able to actually visualize whether you will be able to complete it or not. And that's where the project management aspect of work breakdown structure comes into picture. We've already taught you how you can divide your complete project into manageable deliverables, right? So try to do that. We are already giving you certain guidelines for that. So if you follow that, you should be able to set a series of progressive goals for yourself so that you can deliver piece by piece, or in manageable ways. All right, and after you do all that, remember, you're free to take feedbacks from anyone around you who is willing to help you. That doesn't mean you get the project done from others, right? What you need to do is that you do the project, get the feedback, you're free to get, because life it's never like an exam, right? You always have someone around you to help you out with things. So don't worry about it. You can pretty much discuss the project with anyone and get their feedback and get the guidance. But remember that you're doing this project for yourself, for getting the experience, right? So you need to learn from whatever you are doing. Don't try to get the entire project done from somebody. All right, so you need to take the feedback as and when you feel not confident. Of course, we will try to engage with you during the team meetings. However, given the large number or the limited time, we may or may not be able to support you as much. But as I said, you are always free to take feedback from people who are around you. Also, when we are taking this structured approach, we need to remember certain things. First of all, you need to study the problem. So when the problem is released, do not just go out there and start doing or working on that problem. Try to understand that problem, study that problem completely, understand the constraints, understand the background, understand what is expected from you. And after that, you can start solving the problem. That's only after you understand the complete user requirements, you can then start solving the problem. That's where you will be designing things and developing it as well. All right, so always maintain project documentation while you're doing the project itself. Otherwise it looks like a bigger task. If you're trying to do it on a retrospective basis, what I mean by that is, if you have done if you're doing your project planning, maybe you are doing it as a rough work side by side, try to ensure that you are putting it into your report, you're putting it into the documentation that we have asked you to do. If you are working on the work breakdown structure, put that documentation and move forward. Okay, Then if you are then doing your project schedule, though you know everything task by task what needs to be done, put that in that Excel that we have shared with you, and then move forward. Similarly, as you do the tasks, you document it so that you get a better view of your task also, and your deliverables are also completed side by side. So it's a different sense of achievement when you finish off one thing at a time. Alright, so please try to maintain your project documentation while you are actually working on the tasks. Okay, then towards the end of it, you need to submit your solution before the deadlines so that we can help you to get your experience letter. Even though you do not, you're not able to submit that by the deadline, do not panic. Write to us, we will sort out some things for you. All right, so don't worry about that. Then moving on to some instructions that you need to follow. That is what this session is all about. You need to follow certain rules, you need to follow certain policies, standards, so that you can deliver on your live project properly. All right. Some standards are there, some requirements, practices, so that you need to comply to that. All right. We'll start with the policies first. Though the live project is a different aspect of the internship, it is very much part of the internship, and further, internship is part of the industry academia community activities. So all the policies that are applicable for ISE, for the internship program, including the code of conduct and the other instructions which are given to you, those need to be followed in addition to the live project instructions. These instructions are also available as part of your workflow. Alright, so please go through them after the session so that you can deliver on your live projects flawlessly without actually breaching of any policy or any ways of working. Alright, then moving forward, you know that all these things need to be delivered from the industry academia community. You're already a part of it. So if you have already not done certain notification sort of you've not actually signed up for the notification, please do that. So what you need to do is, when you are on the application, simply go to this icon here on the next to your URL and turn on all the notifications, pop-ups, etc., so that whenever there are any announcements, any content or any tasks that are added onto the platform under the workflow of your domain, you get to know about them. All right. In addition to this, we will also be sharing updates on our social media pages. So if you've not already followed it, please do follow it. We have a Telegram channel also that you can pretty much follow and pretty much join, so that the same updates are also available there. So we are not keeping any stone unturned for you to get the information. So it is your responsibility to at least be there so that you get the updates. Then comes your email ID. Whenever there is any important communication, you will be receiving it on your email ID. For example, now when you have joined this particular workflow of your domain, you would have received an email ID that you are now part of this particular live project, right? And then, of course, in part of, you will have all these updates coming on the ISE platform also through the community within your channel or within your domain. All right, that's how the community is. So if I am taking an example, so I have joined the live project for artificial intelligence, then this community will be pretty much visible for me, so that I can get all the announcements, I can start the discussions, ask questions here. All the domain leads, as in your specific domain lead, will be available in your workflow or your community for that particular domain, right? So you can always post your questions there, and whenever they are available, they would be answering you guys. All right, so the easiest way for you to get answers to your question are the FAQs. So that would be pretty much, instant resolution of your query. Thereafter, you can always put in your queries in the platform community also, so that as and when the team leads are available or the domain leads are available, they will be able to answer them. And if your queries don't get answered, even then, you can always write to us at members@industryacademiacommunity.com. Then coming back to the Industry Academia community, let me just walk you through how exactly you can move around in your course. Okay, so all right, so when you are in the community, you get to see your library, your community, your profile, right? So if you have enrolled for a certain course, now under the library, you will be able to see that. So for me, I have joined the artificial intelligence course. And so guys, once you are on the or in the course, you will see multiple sections here. All right, so you can see there is introduction, then we've also added the internship program part here because this live project is part of internship, so we'll talk more about that as well, don't worry about it. And then you have your problem statement. So only after all of this you will get to see your problem statement. Then resources, this is where you will have all your problem statement related collaterals and information. Then you will have your project initiation, project planning, step by step. We will look into that as well. And further to that, you will have your project execution and monitoring, which we'll be talking about more. And then you have your project closure. Okay, so we will look at each of this stage one by one. So let's start with the introduction. Please remember guys, whenever you are starting with any section, we have given enough of text. We have kept it very brief, limited, so that you guys can read it quickly. We know it's really difficult and it's annoying sometimes to go through all the documentation and the readings, but it is important guys. Always remember that if there is something put in your workflow, that is because we want that you guys get more information about a certain thing. Okay, every section has its own significance, so we just want you to understand that significance on why you are doing a particular activity. All right, so the introduction itself has its significance. We have mentioned that. We've mentioned what approach you need to take to deliver on this particular problem statement as well. Further to that, we have the video for your domain overview. So whichever domain you are part of, you can pretty much watch this. I'm sure now that we are already here in the onboarding session, you must have watched the video, which gave you a better understanding of the skill sets required, the roles available within that domain, the industry trends, and the pay scale, and many other aspects, right? So after your onboarding session, please attend this, please listen to it end to end, because we're walking you through everything that you are required to do during the project. And after you finish attending the onboarding session, we want you to finish the feedback form. Give us your feedback on how informed you were for the live project. Were you given proper understanding of what live project is and what you require to do? Were you given enough support before as well, so that we understand what is it that will keep you more informed, and what is it that you guys are looking for in terms of information. All right, so in the coming weeks, then we will be able to give you appropriate information. Yeah, so that's what the feedback is all about. We just want to get how was it for you, the pre enrollment or the pre period for your live project and things like that. So you can answer them. Then we have the instructions that you need to follow for your live project. So this is the most important part, guys. Remember that this is something that will help you to do your projects properly with abiding by the policies, following the instructions, completing your tasks properly. All the things that are required for you to follow is something that is mentioned here. Again, I've already mentioned that these policies are something that you need to, or the instructions are something that you need to read in conjunction with the IAC policies, RP policies, the code of conduct, all of those things. Right, then there is a prerequisite that I've mentioned, that you need to complete all your online internship program tasks before you actually start working on the projects and the problem statement. The reason being that in steps 1 to 6 of the online internship program, we have actually tried to equip you to deliver on the live project. So that's the reason. And majority of your project tasks will also be based on whatever we've done earlier, because if you remember, you need to deliver your project as per the industry standards, right? And that's what we've been trying to equip you through in the past few weeks. So please try to complete this before you actually get onto the problem statement. And there are various components of the problem statement. We will be looking at that. So please read through each and every thing that is given in the problem statement so that you understand and get a comprehensive understanding of that particular problem. Further to that, we are going to provide you certain resources and references. Again, resources and references will depend upon the domain that you're working on and your domain leads. All right, so if they want to share certain things or resources with you, they would do that. For data analytics or for even machine learning and quality assurance in all of these domains, there might be certain files that we want you to use during solving the problem statement. So that is also something that we will be providing you. We will talk more about that. There's certain ways of working that you need to follow. All the time you will have to be there on the IAC platform. When I mean all the time is predominantly throughout your duration of project, so that you get timely information and updates about your activities, or for your activities rather, and your tasks. You need to follow project management methodology. We've quite onboarded you with that, so we're expecting you to follow that as well. There will be a requirement elicitation meeting. What that means is that after you've gone through your problem statement, we would want you to understand, or if you have more questions regarding the requirements, you can pretty much interact with us during this meeting. This will be set up in this week itself, looking at the availability of the domain leads. All right. In addition to that, we will be having certain weekly meetings as well. So these weekly meetings will be an interaction. It's not just going to be like how we used to have our sessions earlier. This is more of an interactive session where you get to ask questions to the domain leads and get clarifications on the questions. We will be scheduling it from time to time. Generally, the schedule may vary depending upon the availability of the domain lead, but generally we will try to keep it as a recurring meeting so that you know that what time of the week you will have this particular meeting. All right. In addition, you will also need to submit your weekly status report. Okay, we will discuss about what's included and all the details about it in the coming sections. We also recommend using of open source, free or trial licenses for any platforms or tools that you're using, because we will not be bearing the cost for these licenses. It's not possible for us to do so, and that's the reason why we are asking you to use the trial or the open source licenses. In case you are already having any purchase license that you're using, we are not going to be able to bear the cost for that, and that's a clear uh, you know disclaimer that we are trying to make here. So we are not liable to bear any costs for any paid tools that you're using. Your deliverables need to be aligned to the dates that are mentioned. Nevertheless, do not panic about it. If there are certain issues, there are certain genuine issues, do let us know and we will try to accommodate, right? Because we want you to complete this internship and learn from it, right? So please ensure that you are dedicated enough to deliver on time, but however, that shouldn't be a something that will cause panic for you. Okay, try to do it in a proper manner. But if you are gonna submit things by the deadlines, it'll be better for you because you get your certificates in time. Everything will happen in time for you as well. All right. For query resolutions, I've already mentioned there are FAQs that you can go through. You can write in the domain communication, I mean the community, where you can post in your questions and the domain leads or the IAC team members, other IAC team members will be able to answer them. And then the least popular one will be the member ID because we would have to deal with a lot of emails. So this will be the response for this will be a little delayed. So you'll have to bear with us on that. We do encourage you to share work thoughts, discussions. All of that is encouraged. However, discussions are encouraged but copying is not. We do run strict plagiarisms. We have strict plagiarism policy because all the efforts that we are putting in to make you job ready, right? And if you are not doing things in a dedicated manner, you would never be able to be job ready. Okay, so please remember that all this exercise is for you. So doesn't matter how much time it is taking for you, do not worry about the duration. Keep doing it religiously and properly as per the structured approach. You will be able to deliver on the project, so no need of copying at all. All right, so please remember this, that discussion is allowed but copying is not. All right, all the domain leads, while they're evaluating your projects, each and every project will be evaluated, guys. All right, so we will be running a strict plagiarism check when we are doing the evaluation. Okay, so but do not shy away from guiding your team members. That's a different thing, but copying is entirely different. I'm sure you guys understand that very well, right? Whatever work you are doing is an intellectual property of Cloud Counselage Pvt Limited, so you have to ensure complete confidentiality. Please do not share any documents outside of the organization. All right, and any breach to this policy, has a very strict action as well. It can lead to termination of your membership, and we can even blacklist such individuals for the future associations as well. Okay, and your work will be evaluated by the domain leads. We have predefined criteria to ensure that we exhibit complete fairness when we are evaluating the projects. Okay, so that is about the introduction. Then moving on to the online internship program. So we have given this link because it is mandatory for you to complete this program and the tasks within this program. That is why this link is here. But don't worry, the system is completely in sync. If you have already done those tasks, you will not get to, uh, the system won't ask you to do them again. Okay, so don't worry about it. This is only for individuals who have not already completed. They can pretty much go to the course from here. Then comes the problem statement. The problem statement document comprises of generally 2 pages, which will have listed the problem. It's an individual project, and the duration, the tentative duration, depending upon which you have selected on your onboarding. So if you remember, you might have a question that there was 6, 8 and 12 weeks projects, right? Why are we having 2, 4 and 8 weeks mentioned? If you know, we have already finished 4 weeks, right? We are 4 weeks from the start of the internship program, so that's the reason why the duration is 2, 4 and 8 weeks. Okay, however, if you have selected a certain duration and you still feel that you will not be able to complete within that duration, don't worry about it. The deadlines are set. You can submit before that. Okay, so you can submit your projects until 30th of September also. We will take care of that duration part of it. Okay, the only thing that is mandatory is the domain. right? The domain you have selected, you just need to stick to the domain. Don't worry about the duration as much. We also have the background, which will help you to understand the context to this problem, why this problem exists. And we also have the relevance, which will talk about why it is important for us to resolve this issue. Okay, so you can see that the background part is pretty much going to help you. These all actually, to be honest, all this information is going to be helpful for you so that you can complete on your project charter. The relevance part of it will help you to work on the business case part of your project charter. So this is pretty much which gives you the reason why the business is trying to solve this problem. Then we have the objectives, which will tell you exactly what is it that we are expecting you to do while you're solving this particular problem. What's the solution? What should it look like? Then we have the deliverables. We've listed down the deliverables that we are expecting. These are the major deliverables. That could be some minor deliverables that we would request you to submit, and those will be listed under the tasks that will be shared with you from time to time. Then there are certain instructions which your domain lead has mentioned. They would want you to work in a certain way. So it is important that you abide or you work within these constraints. All right. For some, there might be a problem statement video as well, depending upon the information which is giving on in the problem statement document. If your domain lead feels that they need to give you more information, then whatever is accommodated in the problem statement, they will have the video. It's not necessary that each and every domain will have the video. Okay. Then, as I've mentioned, there are resources and references. So it again depends upon your domain lead if they would want to give you certain references for you to work on the project. Otherwise, it would not be available. Okay, and for some of the domains, we will have certain files that we need to share with you, especially for the data analytics and machine learning. You need training data and other data, so that will be provided to you. For quality assurance, you would need a certain code that you will have to check. All of those things will be made available in the resources section. Okay, and that will be added as the tasks are added, so don't worry about it. Then after all of that, the actual project work starts. So in the project initiation phase, you will have to create your project charter. As you all are aware, you will need to, if you have to go through how you work on the project charter, there is this reference of the project initiation session that we've had, because we've completely walked you through section by section of how project charter can be created. So you can go back to that and have a look at it. Then you have your project charter, which is in it is a form that we are asking you to finish or complete. The reason why we have this form is because we do not want you to keep changing those things again and again, because project charter is one thing that cannot be changed once it is approved by the stakeholders or by the sponsors, right? So once this is done, you should not be able to change anything in there. All right, so there are certain instructions which are given. There are certain fields that we have here, and there are certain fields which are pre-filled also, because we would not want you to keep wondering about certain things given your limited knowledge about the organization and the project. All right. So that's the reason why we've pre-filled for some fields which you might uh, want to fill in on your own. We have shared some help text for you based on which you can fill in these fields. The goals, objectives, deliverables sections, you can pretty much get all the information from the problem statement. All right. So you can see we are kind of making it pretty much ready made for you. Currently, you might feel that it is just copy pasting thing and it's an easy thing, but we just want you to get tuned to how you do things. So now when you know that, okay, the problem statement is received in a certain way, you will know how project objective is to be written. What are the things to be considered. So here you will get to know exactly how things are done in though it might look like a copy paste job, but now you're just trying to learn about project objectives, business cases, goals, matrices, and all of that, right? So that is why we're making it convenient for you to uh, pick up on that information. Once you're done with this, then the real thinking also comes in what you have to include in your scope. So you will have to look at the constraints part, which is under instructions, so that you understand, what is it that you can remove from your scope and what is it that you need to consider. You can then talk about the resources, costs, the stakeholders. Some fields, as I said, are already filled from our side. Risks are also there. That risks, assumptions, and constraints is something that you need to think about, right? So if some information is not available, that's when you make assumptions. That's something I think we've discussed in the project planning session, so you're pretty much aware about that. Then comes the milestones. You need to as you will be dividing your entire projects into manageable chunks, you need to understand by when you have to complete a particular activity, right? So that is your milestone. So based on your project phases, we have created the milestones for you now, because you're still getting used to the project management methodology. So this is how your project charter will be completed. Further to that, if you need more information, for that we have organized, or initially we will be sharing the, give me a moment, there is a document that you can download from here, which is a questionnaire for your requirement elicitation meeting. So if you remember the corporate etiquettes session, we've mentioned that if you have to attend any meeting, you need to be prepared for that, right? So in when you are going for your requirement elicitation meeting, that's where you are interacting. You're going to interact with your client to get their requirements in more detail, right? So for that, what are the kind of questions that you can ask is something that is mentioned in this particular sheet. Okay, and then we're going to have this meeting that's going to be scheduled. Currently you are seeing it is not available because it's yet to be scheduled, but it will soon be scheduled depending upon the availability of, we're just waiting for the availability of the domain leads. Okay, but we will try to finish it in this week, as I said. So based on those questions and your problem statements, then you create your software requirements specifications. We have various fields and we have various help text for that as well. So complete all the fields so that you have the complete requirements for what is required in your solution. All right, and for the management students or for the management interns, you will not have to work on this particular document because your more energy will get into the process part of it. All right, so this will not be required. However, you will still need the elicitation meeting so that you understand what are the requirements. Okay, but since yours will be a little broader ones, you do not need the and most of the things will be covered in the project charter. All right, so that's about the project initiation. Then we move on to the project planning. Now, when we are in project planning, the first thing what we are sharing with you is this planning session link, so that if you want to work on the WBS or the project schedule and the RAID logs, you have some reference that you can take from here. Moving on to the work breakdown structure, you can again download. This is in the PPTX format. We have already set certain tasks for you, but if you feel that you need to do few more or break down those tasks furthermore, you are free to do that. Update that, and when you're submitting, make a PDF of it and submit it to us. Alright, so for working on the work breakdown structure, you already know how you can do that. If you're having any doubts, you can go back to that planning session and refer back. Okay, then project schedule. Here also we are giving you certain documents that you can download. This is an Excel format. So based on the work breakdown structure, you can add your tasks. We've given you certain example sheets also here that you can refer to, add your tasks and create a project schedule, after adding the dates and everything. All right, similarly with the RAID log, We are giving you the raid log template as well. We've already told you how you work on raid log. So if you remember, this is uh, risks, assumptions, issues, and dependencies. So in the planning phase, you will pretty much be working on risks, assumptions, and dependencies. Then comes the issue phase, right? Those issues will be coming in the execution. That's when you actually start executing, you will understand what the issue is, right? So that's why please remember that the raid log, yeah, is a live document. You have to use it throughout your project, and it is not just limited to the planning phase. Okay, and after that is done, you are then free to start working on actual execution. This is where most of the work will be done. So you need to be really pepped up and really planned. You should have planned your work properly. Okay, here you can see that all your tasks currently are not available, only the reports are available. So this is where your all tasks will come in one by one by your domain lead, and the tasks might have certain deliverables in itself as well. Okay, so you need to read all the tasks so that you understand that you've got it completely, and you understand what's the deliverable that you're going to produce after working on that task. All right, so those will be added here from time to time. Also, your weekly meetings with your team leads will also be added here. They will also come up here from time to time. And then you have your project status report that you need to submit on weekly basis. So you can see, it will help us to understand how you're doing with your project. If you're facing any issues, what we mean by overall status is that whether your work is aligned with your plan that you have created. Okay, and then this report is for a week, right? So our week is starting from Saturday to Friday. Okay, because if you remember, we started on 1st of July, so that was a Saturday. So we are keeping it from Saturday to Friday. So every time you are creating a report, you will have to consider this period, the previous. So suppose if today is Monday, right? So you should have by now submitted the weekly report of your earlier week. But since you guys are starting your live project from this week, you will have to look at it in the subsequent week. Okay, so by next Monday, you should have already submitted your week 1 report. Alright, you can also let us know about any key issues that you're facing, because we get to see your raid log only towards the end of the project, right? When you do all your submissions. But before that, if you're facing any issues, then we get to know about it and we will try to do something about it. So this is how you will have your project execution also. And after project execution, then you have your project closure. This is where you will hand over all your documents, all your project work to us. That's the client. So you will be handing over all the, this more of a handover sort of a stage. You will have to create your lessons learned log here. You would have to complete your project report here, or handover report you can call it, and wherein you will have all your installation and operations guide that you will share with us. And after all of that, you will submit the, so all that sharing will happen as along with this submission form. So you will share all the files with us, any links for the videos and all that you can share. And there will be other questions added here as well, so that will come up. We still have time for that, right? So we will work on that. So I hope that explains you pretty much about how you can work through in the project. Okay. So then going back to the elicitation sessions, as I said that we will be having it soon in this week. We'll keep you informed. You will be able to see it under the workflow of your domain. That's all from my side. I wish you all the best. I hope whatever uh, information I have given you today in the session will help you to deliver your project in the best possible way. So do it dedicatedly, and there is a lot for you to achieve in this project, and you will be able to showcase a lot of skills, because what we are trying to do through this session is give you the kind of glimpse of all the possible roles within the project as well, right? So with the elicitation, you will get to know about the business analyst. You're going to be you're experiencing about the project manager role also. You'll be doing designing, so designer's role. You will be doing development. You'll be doing testing. So you get to see the glimpses of all the roles. And for the management students also, you will be designing, you'll be researching. A lot of things is what you will get to experience during this live project. And getting a glimpse or the understanding of each and every role will help you to become a better team member, a better collaborator when you start any other internships or jobs in future as well, right? So that will help you to empathize with the other team members and support them in a better way. So that is what working in organizations is all about. And I hope this live project you will do it with dedication, and if you do it with a lot of dedication, you will reap the benefits of it, and you will be able to learn a lot of things. All right, so we're looking forward to interact with you. We are looking forward to see some good work from you during this. So from my side and on behalf of Cloud Counselage, I would like to wish you guys all the best.